Hey everyone, Nigel and Luke here, and welcome to another edition of Crimes of the Week.
Last Wednesday, a search group in the Mexican state of Guanajuato announced the discovery of 59 bodies in a series of hidden pits. The excavations began after several tips from families of missing people who believed that a property on the outskirts of the city of Salvatierra might be the location of a mass illegal burial site. The bodies are said to belong to victims of cartel violence in Guanajuato. The state has been the scene of a bloody turf war between the Jalisco and Sinaloa cartel for some time, leaving Guanajuato with the largest number of homicides of any state in Mexico. According to Mexican authorities, the vast majority of the bodies at the excavation site appear to be young people, some of whom may have just been teenagers. While the location is already the largest burial site of its kind ever discovered in the state, it is expected that more human remains are yet to be found.
A 24-year-old man is in police custody after he allegedly went on a rampage on Halloween night in Quebec City that left 2 dead and several others wounded. According to reports, Carl Gerard stalked the streets inside the city's historic walled center while dressed in a medieval costume and wielding a Japanese sword. He then began attacking victims seemingly at random, leading police on a 3-hour manhunt that ultimately led to his capture. Gerard now faces 2 counts of murder and 5 counts of attempted murder. Police say that they believe the attack is an isolated incident, and that Gerard is not linked to any terror groups. 5 years prior to the stabbings, Gerard reportedly spoke of wanting to commit a violent act during a medical examination. However, he was not known to police and had no criminal record.
Two Miami-Dade police officers are facing charges after they allegedly provided protection for a fake cocaine transfer organized by the DEA. Investigators say that Roderick Flowers and Keith Edwards Jr. were on the payroll of Manuel Hernandez, a local businessman who was engaged in drug trafficking and money laundering for the Sinaloa cartel. Flowers and Edwards each reportedly accepted $5,000 from a DEA source for their services and believed they were protecting the source while he transferred a shipment of cocaine between 2 spots in South Florida. However, the drugs were fake, and the whole thing was part of a DEA operation. The officers have been charged federally with conspiracy to possess and distribute cocaine. In a bizarre final note, it was reported by the Miami Herald that Flowers and Edwards like to style themselves online like the characters in the Bad Boys movie franchise. In several photos of their social media accounts, the two pose with their badges, wearing thick gold jewelry and smoking cigars. Flowers even used the name Mike Lowry on his Instagram account, the fictional detective played by Will Smith in the well-known movie series.
On Tuesday, Keith Raniere, founder of the cult organization NXIVM, was sentenced to 120 years in prison. Raniere was convicted of several charges last year, including racketeering, sex trafficking, sexual exploitation of a child, and human trafficking. NXIVM would lure followers in with their numerous personal growth and development programs, and would use those programs as a front to begin the slow process of emotional, psychological, and sexual manipulation of its members. The worst of this involved a group of women who were manipulated into becoming Raniere's sex slaves, many of whom were branded with his initials on their bodies. As the leader of the group, Raniere is the most high-profile member yet to receive a sentence for his role in the self-improvement organization turned sex cult. Last month, Seagram's heiress Claire Bronfman was sentenced for her role as one of the cult's major financial backers, receiving almost 7 years in prison. Others, such as co-founder Nancy Saltzman and Smallville actress Allison Mack, are still awaiting sentencing.
This week, Green Bay police announced an arrest in the 34-year-old cold case rape and murder of 22-year-old Lisa Holstead. Investigators say that 65-year-old Lou Archie Griffin was linked to the killing by DNA, though did not say exactly what evidence had been used to make the connection. It was also unclear what had caused police to zero in on Griffin after all these years. Holstead's body was found partially submerged in a swamp in August of 1986 in an area of the city that is now a nature reserve. It is believed that Griffin was a stranger to the young woman. The suspect admitted to using cocaine and alcohol on the night that Holstead was killed, but claims that he was not involved in her murder. Just 3 months before the brutal crime, Griffin had been released from prison after serving a sentence for sexually assaulting a child. He has been charged with murder and is currently being held on $1 million bail.
In a recent Crime Zone video about murders that took place on Halloween, we brought you the story of the 1975 slaying of Martha Moxley in Greenwich, Connecticut. Moxley was just 15 years old at the time she was killed. A brutal attack in which the killer used a golf club to beat and stab the teenager to death. Moxley's neighbor, Michael Skakel, was eventually convicted of her murder in 2002. The case received high publicity due to the fact that Skakel was the nephew of Robert F. Kennedy's widow, Ethel Kennedy. He served more than half of his 20-year sentence before his conviction was overturned in 2013, due to a ruling that he received ineffective assistance of counsel at trial. Skakel's sentence was reinstated in 2016, following a Connecticut Supreme Court decision. However, this was again reversed in 2018, and a new trial was ordered. This week, on the 45th anniversary of Moxley's death, it was announced at the Stamford Superior Court that Skakel would not be retried for the murder. According to reports, prosecutors declined to pursue the case due to a lack of forensic and eyewitness evidence. That's it for this edition of Crimes of the Week. If you enjoyed our video, don't forget to like and subscribe to Crime Zone for more true crime content like this, making sure to hit the notification bell to stay up to date with our latest releases. Thank you for watching.